Hello everyone, my name is Vi the Gaming Warrior, and welcome to my Let's Play of Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. And the first ever Kirby game I've actually played! I'm not even kidding! This was something I've had for a while that I've wanted to do for the channel, and I figured, why not do it right now? Show everybody that I'm not just a Pokemon guy. But, with that, we have a few different things here, including something I'm not too sure on, but the first thing I want to do is go into the settings. This sound doesn't really matter, but the display is something I'm probably going to try and switch between every single video. So, for now, I'm not going to be worried about that, and let's get started with the story. Do you know how to use Kirby's copy ability? This has sort of been a Kirby staple ever since Kirby's Adventure. So, I'm sure a lot of people know how to do it, but for those who've never seen a Kirby game before, let me introduce it to you. Oh, I screwed it up. But sorry about that, just wanted to shut up and let the cutscene play, and I forgot what I was going to be saying. But, right now, let's get started in level 1, Pop Star. So, the whole idea behind Kirby is that you can swallow enemies, and depending on whether they have that first... That's what happens when you don't pay attention to the screen. Wow. Well, obviously, if you swallow different enemies, you might get a power. This is Needle Kirby. Now, the whole idea behind Needle Kirby is that you can basically pierce enemies. Just be sure you're not sticking them up a certain area. But, as you can see, Needle Kirby can actually get stuck in the ground. Therefore, if you've got momentum in the air, you can still go forward after you've used Needle Lift. But, oh! That was a prime opportunity for me to show off the main gimmick of Kirby 64. But, oh! Almost said it again. This guy is a fire element enemy. I can hit any of the 4 C buttons to sort of take my power out, and I can swallow it. But what happens if I say, throw it? It's fire and needle. My neighbors smashed the wall 3 times for some reason, but moving on. As you see, I now have fire and needle, thus leading to a bow and arrow. This is one of the main gimmicks of Kirby 64, the various power combinations. And this is the only time it's appeared up until Star Allies. I'd like to show the release date of Kirby 64 and Star Allies. Anyway, I'm probably going to be showing off each of the enemies that we have going forward, but the whole idea behind Kirby 64 is that you can use, I'm pretty sure it's 49 different combinations of enemies. But yeah, over here, you don't really need to do the whole, you know, do that and throw it. You can just spit the enemies out, and here, you get a fire sword. If this friggin' thing will work. And basically the whole idea of this is that you're supposed to be doing different combinations of abilities to make things work. But right here, the main gimmick of Kirby, well, not gimmick, but collectible, the crystal shards. This is how 100% is measured and will determine something later on in the game. I'm not kidding. Okay. That is a glitched out Maximum Tomato. But what it does is maximize your HP. As I took 1 HP, this isn't really normal. And that enemy who died way too fast for me to acknowledge really quick is called an NZ, I believe. They don't give anything. I don't really know all these enemies, but the thing about the fire sword, you can lift it up in the air to damage enemies above you and throw it, as I'm sure you just saw. So I'm just gonna yoink. And I knew you were gonna fire, but though I missed. Well, I'm lucky there's food right here. So let me jump and then do it. Okay then, duly noted. Oh. Okay. But yeah, as you saw there, you can fly for a limited time. In many other Kirby games, it's different, but not this one. It's limited. And here, we have my favorite ability. Bombs. The way it works, you hold the B button down. You hold the B button down, or whatever you have mapped to your B button if you're playing on an emulator like I am. And, depending on how long you hold the button, Kirby will throw a bomb. Or by tapping it, you can just throw it a short distance, for whatever reason. But as you saw there, that is another thing of Kirby 64. You can't really get all the shards in a level unless you have specific abilities. Now, I'm gonna just try and hold on to bomb for this. That was horrifying. But here is a standard Kirby enemy known as a Waddle Doo. If this were any normal Kirby ability, any other Kirby game, you'd have Beam. Beam doesn't appear in this game. But yeah, like I said, Kirby can't get Beam in 64. Now here, there's a specific thing I want to aim for to show off. I think I missed it already. But, I'm going to just see if I can't get it. Yup! Hey, I did! Those cards! Oh, I hate those cards with a burning passion! There are... Let me just take a look here real quick. There are 81 of those cards. And you can get duplicates. I hate these cards with a bloody passion. But that's besides the point. That was close. But moving on. I'm going to be trying to show off all the crystal shards just to show off the different endings. Great. And one of my next door neighbors is playing music. I hope it doesn't show up in the recording. But here we have a new power. Stone. Double stone. Double stone is basically a stronger normal stone. You can roll over, blast. But what you probably don't know is that you can move in this state. You're invincible to most things. And if you have momentum, you roll. So yeah. This was my main mode of transportation going through the game. Just being a cheap little douche. But those spiked enemies you see are called Gordos. They're sort of a Kirby staple, if I recall correctly. And they're basically invulnerable. And okay, that was a new enemy. I'm just gonna go back and throw this up. And we now have Spark Kirby! Isn't that adorable how the shield just shrinks when you're moving? But yeah, that's how it is! And just having a little fun. But, oh. Another new enemy, Chili! He gives ice! And what does ice give you with Spark? Well, if I can just... He gives food. And, if I recall correctly... Yup! The food can actually damage enemies! It's funny, and I really like how it is. How it works. Whoa! Oh. Yeah, I forgot to mention jumping is sort of its own attack. But yeah, just to sort of show this off, you can't fly forever. But I'm just going to stick with my bombs for now. Because, as I said, it's my favorite Kirby power. And here, you saw how in the last cutscene, Waddle Dee followed us? He's now helping us out. And at one point, yup, just drop down. Yeah, they are those kinds of jerks. Or, I guess not necessarily jerks, but wanted to try and teach you how to fly. Now, can I hit those up from there? No, I cannot. Well, Kirby's Puff is a sort of attack, but only on regular enemies. So I'm just gonna grab this kick. Kick up the dolly. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, as you saw, the meter at the bottom filled up, so I got an extra life. And that was a normal life. Evidenced by the 1-up. And here, I'm just gonna... Ow! I'm just gonna keep throwing bumps. Bumps! I said, give it a bumps! Yeet! Bumps! And... Get your... Sheesh! Just gonna grab this. And you may notice that we... We're already on our next boss. Adeline, I believe is her name. And yeah, whatever she paints, you basically have to beat. And bombs. And
oh, gee, she's attacking us with a censored art.
And now I'm pretty sure she's attacking with a mid-boss. Bombs. Nope. Bombs. Bombs. Yeet. Just keep throwing the bombs at her. And now she attacks us with something else. Oh, checkmate. And now she attacks us directly. That was it. One hit. Really hope she's okay, though. Who knew an explosion was all it took? Now, I have some bad memories with those cards, so I'm not going to be going for them every single end level. Instead, I'm probably going to be prioritizing either the 1-up or food. Now, yup! Don't. Okay, I'll take it. But now, we move on to the next level. Dismissal guy. Bombs. What does double bombs do? Missile. And if I may show, they home in on enemies. Okay, the button lag is kind of bad because of my emulator, but I tried a few different ones and this is the best I could find. Whoop! And now we can jump. Whoop! And now we have food. And just... there we go. Sorry. Have it in mind to kill enemies. But moving in here... this guy! Needle! So... oh! What does this Sir Kibble give? Well, cutter! It's kind of a habit. And this... can you tell I'm enjoying this? Whoa! Okay! What was I really worried about? I guess taking damage, but... I recall... okay, just gonna... take that, care of that, then... go up... and show off base cutter. That's base cutter. But I'm gonna go out and go back in to take advantage of enemy respawns. Because I recall this. Well, that's double cutter. And there's a small little property of it that comes important. Okay. At least you're given iframes or invulnerability frames after taking a hit. But, little secret, go over here, you get a Maxim Tomato. Jump. And just... I'm hitting you through ground. Hitting you through ground. Yeet! Whoa! Oh, right, you can't crouch while the boomerang is going. Which is honestly kind of baloney, but there's nothing. And... weak sauce! You go through all that, probably taking a ton of damage. And oh boy. This! That's what you needed double cutter for. Because I remember coming into this room with single cutter and not having it work. And... what up? Thank you, Adelaide. Now. Okay, slow down. But now we have another crystal shard in our, I guess, nubs? Kirby doesn't really have hands. But it's better than nothing. And just throw you. That saw gives cutter. Throw you. And throw you. And yeah, now we have these things. We're climbing them. Lets us get higher, obviously. Now, if I recall correctly, the final enemy of this area is kind of easier to take down if you have this. So if I recall correctly, it's called burning, and not fire. This is King DDD. He's sort of Kirby's main, quote-unquote, enemy. And I don't know why, but a lot of Kirby games seem to... You just saw that that his stomach just about opened up. I don't get why, but Kirby games... Anyway, Kirby games just love making King DDD body horror. At least in the early ones. And I don't know why. But now we get the Maxim Tomato. And now we move on to our first proper boss. After I go back and get a power I prefer. Be right back. Alright, so I have the power I want, and I've maxed out my health. Pressing start allows you to pick another level, and the bomb cutter power is what I want to go in with the boss. This is Wispy Woods! And these little three around him, Wispy Jr. Anyway, the idea is that you want to destroy Wispy Jr.'s, and once you take them down, now you gotta fight Wispy himself. the whole idea here is that you just want to wait for him to attack you with the roots, then throw then attack them. Not throw whatever. Though if you're going in this powerless, these apples he conveniently provides are something. Though I will say, I really like this boss music. You probably didn't get to hear much of it since I shut up, so I advise you look it up online. But now that's the first world down! And with that, we now move on to level 2, which we'll be doing in the next episode. So, as I just said,
Next time on Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, we're going to be taking on Rockstar.
which everybody wants to be for some reason. Thank you guys for watching. Ta-ta for now.